So, guys, so me and Clayton are here. We're gonna answer any questions you guys have about Ruin Your Day, about King of the Dot, about battle rap, about lifting weights, about being just overall insane individuals that like to fake. So, any questions you guys got? Hit away.
Who's our least favorite King of the Dot staff member? King Fly knows who he is. So we'll start here, and once we get like a couple people.
Okay, so Unicorn Thief asked, "Hey, Avo, when are you coming to the UK next?" I don't know. No idea, no plans for it in the future, but I mean, I'm going to be in France this summer, so maybe I'll dip over to the UK. But for battle rap, I don't really know. There's nothing in the future planned. And then Limmel Ego asked, "Is there going to be a Vendetta event sometime soon?" J Pro spoiled it on Twitter. So what he's referencing is J Pro in like your little on Twitter, your name. You can change your name to something, so it doesn't say like Epsilon Pro. His says Vendetta, and then has like 2 eye emojis next to it. Just to tell you guys, he's just fucking around. I have no idea why he did that. Like maybe you know, maybe
he also said bunker on February 31st. So
yeah, so J Pro is a troll essentially. So there's no Vendetta event coming soon. We don't have anything planned currently on the West Coast. I was just asked, did you find a new venue for the bunker yet? Unfortunately, no. The hunt for the venue has been postponed just because I can't afford it right now, to be completely honest with you. I went into a lot of debt with the last bunker, so I'm kind of paying that off still. And yeah, I mean, like, it's just when I do the bunker again, I need to do it with more of a financial backing than I had before. So it's just not me doing the financial aspect and then all the work at the same time. So that's what has to happen before I get a new venue, essentially.
So we have Deville currently. Who are your top 5 battle rappers? Man, that question was a guaranteed question. I assumed. So for me, wow, we have to pick 5. That's a lot. My 5 will probably be number 1, Bangs, Forever and Always, Until Further Notice. And then I really like, I don't know, it's so interchangeable. I like Ron. I like I like A Ward. I like Ice, and I don't know. I kind of go off who's the most entertaining rather than a lot of other people's criteria. So I also really enjoy watching Carter's material too. So keep things fresh. What about you, Kyle? Who are your favorite?
My top 5 battle rappers is Hollow Lux, Source Ilmac, and then 5th one interchanges constantly. I mean, it could be Magic, Ines, Ass, Roan. I don't know. I have a lot of favorites.
Oh, and Disaster. Disaster's in there for both of us. Kyle won't admit it, but he's like... How did I forget that?
All right, so we were just asked, would King of the Dot ever do a European tour? I think the answer to that is yes, they would, if the chance arose. Like, keep in mind, we're not King of the Dot, so we don't know the inner workings of them, but working with them for so many years, I can say that they don't shy away from going into new markets. Like, they're definitely like one of the spearhead organizations that take on new markets that haven't been expanded on yet, like take on, well, not that haven't been expanded on, but like haven't really been cultivated to the level of like a big stage, I would say.
Yeah. I would say they would if they could, definitely. Um, I don't see them ever shying away from like trying new things and especially expanding into new markets and all that. But a lot goes into even just setting up an event in their backyard, let alone across the ocean. So there's a lot of logistics that go into that.
Yeah. um,
So Nakaya of Massacre fame asked, "Who's your favorite person in battle rap to work with?" Well, other than Laughing Stock for both of us, it'd probably be, I don't know. That's a toughie. That's like a conflict of interest right there.
Probably, let's just say Nakai, obviously.
Yeah, Nakaya. Nakaya's our favorite. Nakaya, I have a really dope picture I need to send you too, so don't let me forget. I'll send that to you today. I found.
So also, we were asked, do you put any kind of notice when you're going to do the watch live streams? This guy's missed the last one. They're supposed to be every Wednesday, but unfortunately, I've learned recently that getting like different hosts on at times has proved kind of problematic because people have busy lives, and usually when people are in Los Angeles that don't live here, they're here to work. So I can't just be like, hey, drop everything you're doing and come do this watch with me. But I'll try to give you guys more notice when we do them. But they're definitely going to be every week. There's going to be one every single week. Mm-hmm. So you can be sure of that. And Clayton has been doing a good job of making sure that we get them all into separate videos and that they're released. I think there's one out from every single live stream we've done so far, but we definitely have a lot in the pocket.
Yeah, and you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Ruin Your Day or at Ruin Your Day Now. And generally, we post every single time before a watch saying, like, starts at 7 p.m. with so-and-so hosts. So when it comes to YouTube, there's not much notice with that, but we do have social media that we try to keep up on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely follow us on Instagram, Twitter, because we're the most active on there, and we'll say when we're going live, usually a couple hours before, so you can get the notice that way. Let's say, is it difficult to mic the crowds for the Toronto events? Often sounds like the crowd is dead on pay-per-view, but the people in attendance say it was live.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to answer? Do you know the answer, Clayton?
Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, let's use World Dom 6 as an example where people said the crowd was dead, and that kind of like put the nail in the coffin for that argument. But we were obviously there, and I mean, as much as it wasn't as lively as normal, I wouldn't say it was dead. I think the poor positioning of like we used the lav mics for the performers, but we failed to mic the crowd properly, and it showed in post pretty well. So we made sure for Blackout we had a shit ton of mics for the crowd. So hopefully we avoid that this time. You get a more accurate representation of what the actual energy was in the building. It's obviously not going to fully translate, but it's a lot better than World Dom. I can say that confidently.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that at the end of the day, you have to do a mix. You have to mix the performers and the crowd. And then if you just take like one mic from like on the camera, you're going to get like the reverberation of the room. It's not going to sound crisp and clear, but you're going to hear the crowd, but not going to really hear the rappers that well. So that's why at the end product, it's kind of mixed like that. And it's hard to capture the crowd audio from a lavalier mic because lavalier mics only capture the performers.
Yeah,
and then
that's what they're meant to do. So
yeah, and if you put a mic in the crowd, then it'll capture that, but you have to turn that down. So like if a guy's rapping and some dude's talking to his friend, you won't hear that. I don't know. There's a lot of logistics things that come into play when mixing audio. So
and it's a way different setup. Like if we have a pit like in the bunker, like we don't have a stereo system blasting lav mics. It's just one shotgun, so it picks up all the sound in the venue evenly, rather than taking all different kinds of mics and having to mix them properly. But when you have a venue that size and the echoes and all the bar and everything going on, there's a lot of factors that come into play with that. So moving on, okay, DeVille asked, this is kind of an interesting question. Kyle, I don't even know your opinion on this, but DeVille asked, in your opinion, do you think Roan got cheated for the chain?
Well, I mean, regardless who I thought personally won, if I thought Ice won or if I thought Roan won, I don't think Roan got cheated because I think Ice won fair and square.
Yeah.
Like, in the day, the judges were all picked on, and Roan doesn't think he got cheated either. Like, you know, I've hung out with Roan since. We did a watch on Wednesday, and he's not sour about it. Like, this misconception that Roan is, like, fucking sour about the outcome, he's not a sore loser.
Yeah, no.
They all chose the judges themselves, and the judges picked the winner. So it's like, I don't think he got cheated at all. And the backlash that King of the Dot is getting over, it's kind of telling in a way, I guess, I would say. But, you know, it is what it is.
And people also have to keep into account that King of the Dot didn't choose the judges. They appointed a third party to choose the judges, and then Roan and Ice both approved the judges, so they're trying to keep their hands out of the pot as much as possible. And then you have to also remember that these judges are choosing off of that one original watch. Like, if you run the video on demand back like 3 or 4 times and catch certain things or break it down, like, they don't have that luxury. So take it with a grain of salt and just kind of, I don't know, be optimistic for what the future has. I mean, Roan definitely made a name for himself out of the opportunities that he provided, and we're excited to see where Wolf goes from there. So we got another question. This is from Wolf Love. I don't know if that's Ice or not, but if this is Ice, I'm gonna watch what my answer is. But Wolf Love asked, "Who's the best King of the Dot champ in y'all's opinion?" You want to go first with that, or that's kind of like a weighted question that could take different
who's the
routes.
best in terms of, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of a layered question. It's like, who's the best in terms of like the best battle rapper or like the best
who provided the most for the league and stuff?
Oh, that, I don't know. That's a hard question. I would say like the person who did the best lineage of the chain is Pat State. He defended it the most times and didn't lose. But at the same time, I think Roan did a fuck ton for King of the Dot. That's unseen, that nobody really knows about. Like, that fool like wore his chain on like every major platform that he was on, and it's kind of similar to when Thesaurus got the chain. He like took it overseas and was wearing it. I don't know. A lot of people have done good stuff, but I think like the person that like definitely like held it down the longest is Pat. Like, you can't really argue that. So
yeah, I agree. Whenever I talk to Roan on battle topics, we kind of dove into how like once someone becomes a chain holder, they go from climbing the mountain to knocking all these top tier guys down to becoming the best, and now they're fighting a different battle where they're battling the former champs lineage and what they did for like the face of the league and how they expanded the brand and expanded their brand along with it. So it's definitely a different kind of challenge, and a lot of people have stepped up to the plate, and I think Roan has solidified himself pretty well with the amount of stuff that he's accomplished in the year that he was champ. So take that as you may. So next question. What advice do you have for aspiring... Oh, Unicorn Thief. What advice do you have for aspiring videographers? My arms struggle to keep still. My videos turn out like VR footage.
Like VR footage.
Another layered question, I suppose. There's different techniques, I suppose.
Well, my advice would be just to keep filming. Just keep doing it. Like, that's all. That's how you get better at anything.
Yeah, trial and error.
Yeah, and it's like if your footage is shaky, just go under Premiere and throw image stabilization over it, and that will That will get rid of any jitter. That's easy. That's an easy fix.
Well, you can't really use image stabilization like if you're doing something super dynamic. Like I thought you should only use
Well,
that for like landscapes and stuff.
I think what he's saying is, no. You can use it for like basically if you're just holding the camera and your hands are shaky, like you can use
Yeah.
image stabilization. It will take that off. But what you don't want to do is like where you're like walking and you're like moving. It's if the camera's like moving a lot, like almost spinning. If you put image stabilization on that, it's gonna basically warp the image to get it to lock into place on like
Yeah.
one single point. But I mean, our advice is to just do it. Like Clayton is like a really good example of like he wanted to get into film, didn't really have a clean in, and he just reached out to me and he got in like for an event, and he just kept doing it, kept learning. That's like really my advice to anybody that wants to get into film is to find some sort of internship to get into and to go for it that way rather than going to school, because school you're wasting money. And nobody cares about a degree in the film industry at all. I have a degree in the film industry, and I wish I didn't waste my money doing it. I would say just find something you can intern at, work for free for a while, or go invest in a camera and just start making content. You'll get better. People will like comment, give you feedback on what's working, what's not working, and you'll definitely get better at your craft. Just keep doing it.
And a technique that I use, like I don't know what kind of camera you use, but if you're using a DSLR, like for the past couple events, I've been using my DSLR for some of the angles. And one technique that's kind of common, but I neglected to realize was just take the strap for the DSLR around your neck and just pull it as tight as you can, and it will stabilize it pretty well because you're not having to work with gravity. You're only working with going left, right, left, right. You don't have to fight gravity. So it definitely helps, but all in all, it's still going to be strenuous on your arms. I can say that. Okay, so next question. This is a you question, Kyle. JT asks, what made you choose the retro design theme for Win Your Day?
I mean, I'm just a huge fan of 80s typography. I always have been. I've tried to rope it into a couple of events, but it's never really worked. I've always wanted to do an 80s style of event. I kind of did it with Massacre, but that's kind of more horror, 80s horror, serial killer, like backwoods type shit. But yeah, I like really loud, like fun, colorful typography and motion design. So, when I started my own channel, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Nikaya asked, Clayton, have you ever battled?
No. Or would I ever battle? Would I ever battle? Probably no, because no, that should speak for itself.
Be a 2-on-2 team in a hotel room battle probably at some point in time. I will say that.
No, we already did, and it got vaulted. It was too good. We didn't want to embarrass the other 2-on-2. So I definitely feed bars to certain people though. Like it's embarrassing, so I make sure to keep it 1-on-1. And if they ever use it, I'll get giddy, but that's about it. That's as far as it'll go. I'll feed people bars if they want it. Don't ask me to try to battle though.
So we were asked when we're posting the videos that Thesaurus and Ilmac reacted to. I'm going to post those soon. The problem is I filmed like maybe 7 or 8 watch videos that weren't live, so I have to edit them because the videos that are live, there's no post work involved, so we can just post them. That's why it kicks so much ass. But the ones that I filmed, I have to edit them. It's time consuming to edit them. Like the ones we just posted yesterday with Cortez A-Word Street Hymns, I had to edit that. But we're going to get those up soon. Thesaurus and Ilmac, we watched Iron versus Math Hoffa. We watched Pass versus Hollow. And we watched one other one that I'm like forgetting right now. And then I filmed like 4 or 5 with Fredo, Ilmac, Chase, and Bobby. And we watched, the only one that I can remember that we watched from there was QP versus JC from Black Ice. And then I filmed one with Michael, Marshall, HBY, and Awkwards, and we watched Ines versus Bill Collector.
Yeah.
So we have a shit ton in the tank. I just have to edit them. There's a lot.
Yeah.
We have so much content right now.
We should honestly try to like make like some kind of release schedule, because we have enough to where I mean, there's really no method to the madness that when it comes to dropping content. Like, we'll literally wake up that day and be like, so what are you gonna drop today? It's like, well, I don't have anything. Let's just drop this, and it's like, okay, boom, and it's dropped. Like, there's really like, we would keep you guys informed, but
we should schedule. That's a good idea.
But it's so revolving that it's like it'd be updating every week, because you get four new episodes. It's like it's going to be shifting constantly. So we'll try to keep you guys updated. We'll try to figure that out, because I could see how that would become annoying if you're like waiting on a certain episode to drop. But we could take that into account and see what we can do. Okay, this DeVille, I wasn't a big fan of this Blackout card. What are your thoughts? I thought it was dope, but then again, I think pretty much everything is dope when it comes to battling. So, I don't know. It was a different theme to this one. You know, the theme was quote unquote hunger over names, and I think that was pretty apparent. I would say each battle lived up to what you would expect, or even more. And yeah, I mean, no one came and choked or slouched or got lazy or anything. So they definitely all performed their ass off, which is all you can really ask, you know. So just go into events like that with an open mind, and eventually we're gonna end up running into a problem where we're building new names and the older names are starting to phase out, and you got to give those lower, mid-tier, or whatever people a chance to climb the ladder. But you got to give them that opportunity. So that's all that was. What about you, Kyle? What do you think of it?
Well, I mean, I guess, are you asking from like you weren't a fan of it on paper, as opposed to like how?
I think so.
Okay. Well, on paper, like, who knows? Who knows if an event is going to be hot? Like, there's so many events on paper that don't really look that good, you know? And then when they happen, you're like, damn, that whole event was fucking awesome. And then there's events on paper that look fucking really good, and then they turn out really good. So, I don't know. I tend to not judge battles, like an event, that good on paper. I get excited over them, obviously, because it's like you're anticipating a good battle when there's two good matches. But I don't know. I thought the cool part about this year's Blackout is that nobody guessed very many battles. Like, that's always the fun part. And since there were so many people, like Clayton said, that are like hungry still, and they still got that like hunger to fucking win. So it's like matching up two people like Loso and Jims is like it's both their debuts on King of the Dot. So they're like gonna fucking go balls to the wall with how hard they're trying to actually win. So I don't know. I had a great time. I thought it was a fucking fun event. I thought there was a lot of good battles. A lot of people showed up that needed to show up. Like DNA had like a really, really good performance, and that was fucking dope as hell. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good event, man.
Yeah, I had fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah, word. So let's see.
Just start choosing random. We're starting to fall behind. Damn it. Rory asked, "Can I borrow $20?" I think that was directed towards you, Kyle, because.
Of course, Rory, you can borrow $20. Anything for you. Let's see. Yeah, URL is better than Ruin Your Day. That should be obvious. They are the #1 battle league in the fucking world. So yes, they're better than us.
That's subjective, though. I mean, like, it's preference.
Yeah. URL actually does battles. We just commentate on battles.
And then the one battle that we do post is probably better than all of theirs combined, if you ask me. So, I guess we'll see. We'll see. Numbers don't lie, okay? Numbers don't lie.
Clayton, you want to pick we're pretty far behind. You want to just pick a random?
Yeah. Is there any more hotel battles? Drill Craving asked. There are not right now, but hopefully we can start making that a recurring thing. It was kind of a idea that we were just joking about at one point, and we tried to actually implement it this event. And hopefully now we have like a proof of concept that we can get people behind for future events, and maybe get more as time goes on. But I think it was definitely a good pilot for the quote unquote series if it ends up becoming a series. But if not, I'm happy with how the 1 2-on-2 came out. It definitely kind of shows you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of all the craziness that happens throughout the weekend. That's just like a little 12-minute snippet of how that whole weekend pretty much goes. A bad battle that you absolutely love, Sam Fox asks.
Malathine, Christian 818. Bar none. We just watched that live the other day too, and I fucking love that battle. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what's considered a bad battle.
DNA versus Bangs.
DNA, yeah, that's the first one that came to my mind. But that was bad in the sense that I was like, I felt bad that like I partook in
Bangs.
that, and it's Bangs. You know, I have like this like god tier mentality with Bangs, and then he just can't help himself, man. Just can't help himself.
So JT asked, do you do your own motion design? Any tips on getting started there? Yeah, man, just do tutorials online. Like, just go. There's so, like, nowadays it's so easy to learn. Any program or software, there's fucking a million tutorials on how to do anything, like, out there. It kind of sucks because, like, in my day, like, when I was learning how to do After Effects, there wasn't that out there. And it's kind of funny when I look back at, like, all the complex intros I've made for, like, King of the Dot, or, like, World Domination 1, like, with all the, like, the Soviet army, like, war propaganda, like, all that was, like, from fucking scratch. I don't know. It's just crazy to, like, think how much more difficult it was than now. So the resources are there. Just go on YouTube and learn. Like, just type in, like motion design tutorial, like, fucking typography tutorial, and just learn from there. You'll get good real fast.
Next question. This is a 2-part question for both of you guys. If someone already asked, please ignore. How did you guys both meet and work together, and how did you guys get to work for King of the Dot? Well, my simple answer for how did I get to work with King of the Dot is working with Avo. His answer might be a little more in-depth, but basically when it comes to working together, like he said, simply, I just straight up emailed him and asked him if I could help because I wanted to get into film, but I didn't know how to begin. So I emailed a couple people, including Kyle, like the people that I followed their work pretty closely. I knew he was in charge for all the film stuff for King of the Dot. So I emailed him, he emailed me back, and we kind of emailed back and forth for a couple weeks. And I was finally in a position where I could fly myself out to an event and like carry bags and just see whatever. And Massacre 1 was my first event, and he kind of put faith in me and helped or allowed me to start dabbling in editing, and one thing led to another, and now I'm filming battles and editing all the battles and all that stuff. So just take the jump. And then Kyle, how'd you start working for King of the Dot?
I started working for King of the Dot because I was filming for Grind Time, and then I was talking to Organic through rapmusic.com, and yeah, we always kind of worked together, not worked together, but like talked, and yeah, I mean, I met him at Battle of the Bay 5. And before that, we kind of coordinated this little intro to do before Disaster versus Organic, where like Organic would kind of talk about the battle. It was like one of the first times we did that. And then, yeah, then they just were like, hey, are you interested in coming up and filming World Domination 1? And I was like, of course. Like, that would be really fun.
Dope. Okay,
and so it was there.
Alex asks, is there any non-top tier battlers who haven't battled on King of the Dot that you would particularly like to see make his or her debut? I think at Blackout, Jims and Loso were 2 good examples of that. If you were to ask me that before Blackout, I think those 2 names would have popped in my head. But as of right now, I can't think of one.
There's tons of fucking people that haven't been on King of the Dot that should be on there. There's tons.
Name a couple.
Chef Trez.
Okay.
Chef Trez, Lux,
Oh,
T-Top.
Lux. Okay.
Good. Goods has been on King of the Dot. Tsunami Surf. Tay-Rock.
They said non-top tier battlers who
Oh,
haven't.
non-top.
Yeah, non-top tier battlers.
I mean, yeah, okay. I guess those are all considered top tier battlers. Chef Trez is one. This guy Nicholas that Rory's obsessed with is another. Let's see who else. Man, I feel like there's a lot of people that we haven't got on. There's a lot of people in LA that I tried to get on the last Bunker card that didn't happen. There's a female MC out in Los Angeles that's super fucking good that I was trying to get on, but she didn't. That fool that battled B Magic, his name's like Saint or something like that. Not B Magic, B Dot. But yeah, there's a lot. There's so many fucking people that haven't been on King of the Dot or really any big platform in general that really deserve. Oh yeah, Joe Powers is definitely another one. Yeah, there's a lot of good people out there.
Bernard Miller asked, "Who do you think are the top contenders for the chain right now?" I think there's like maybe one or two on.
I mean, I don't know. Thesaurus, Cortez.
Yeah, those are my
Big
two.
K.
Big K. But Big K Ice, I mean, that would be kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really thinking about like the possible like good matchups.
Oh yeah, I mean, Big K is always in the mix until further notice. You know, yeah. Pass versus Ness was really good.
Even I mean, you could even make the argument of Iron Solomon or Sirius Jones either.
Yeah.
Because Sirius has gone against some huge fucking. He's battled Ice, Pat Say, and Disaster at King of the Dot. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And won arguably all three of them.
Yes, there's a lot of contenders out there for sure.
Huh. Yep. When it comes to that battle, though, like battling for the chain, there's a lot of like background stuff that goes into it rather than who would be the best match. It's kind of like longevity for the brand and stuff like that. So there's more factors that play in than a regular battle would.
Oh yeah, Twerk being on King of the Dot. That's a good point.
Twerk. Okay,
Hey Clayton,
what?
let's answer this this question. Who would be your dream matchup?
Dream matchup.
Yeah,
oh
for
Lord.
You.
Probably Disaster versus Bangs.
Oh my God, really? Nah, you're just saying that because it's funny.
I don't know. I don't know. You say yours and it might inspire me.
Okay, I got two.
One, Diz and Hollow I would like to see.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's like a... I'm trying to be creative here.
Now that will eventually happen. Two, that I have two dream matchups, and one I'm going to definitely make happen one day. My first one is Iron Solomon versus Immaculate, and my second one, which is kind of ridiculous that I know everybody's going to fucking hate on me for, but I think this would be a very cool matchup, and I think it can be built up in a very epic way, is Murder Mook versus Thesaurus. I think that's a match that I would love to see go down one day.
Hell yes. What's the most painfully cringe battle you've ever witnessed? Ooh. I don't know. I think DNA Bangs was pretty cringe, but also the one that we filmed at South by Southwest was probably the most cringe that I've ever witnessed. But I don't know if...
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if we could consider that a battle. Like, it was barely even, like, the beginning of a battle, let alone a battle. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the most cringeworthy battle that I've ever been a part of was Tiger Ty versus Pimp Red, or whatever his name was at fucking MOB. That was it's pretty bad. It was pretty cringeworthy. It sucked.
Yeah.
Did Diz battle Immaculate in grind time? He did, and Diz lost. Immaculate won. But Ilmac also lost to Madness that same day. Diz and Ilmac both battled twice that same day. Diz battled Everybody Knows and Immaculate, and Ilmac battled Madness and Disaster the same day. Pretty fucking crazy.
Why does he love bangs so much? Come on, dude. Let me live. Let me
I know.
live.
Well, just watch a fucking Bangs
Yeah,
battle.
well,
And you'll
have you
see.
ever watched bangs? Like, the answer's in the question, dude.
Yes, I was there for Math versus Diz. You can see me in the middle of their fight.
He's like smiling ear to ear while just like holding everyone back. Like,
um, any luck on the new bunker venue? I'll say this again just because it's being asked a lot. There's no luck or there's no really progress, I could say, on a new bunker venue, unfortunately, because it's really expensive and I don't have a lot of financial backing right now. And I'm in a lot of debt from the last one. So until that changes, I'm not going to be really making any progress with that, unfortunately. But, if you guys are enjoying the content that's coming out right now from us, that's where a lot of our efforts is going towards right now. So,
yeah. Avo, I guess this question could be for both of us. Avo, what was your most difficult battle to edit?
uh,
Difficult battle to edit.
I don't know. I don't think any battle has ever
They
been.
all pose their own challenges, like especially if there's like interruption. Pretty much any battle where there's like a bunch of interruptions, whether it be from the crowd or from whatever, and you're trying to like seamlessly hide it,
Yeah,
can
which
become
is a lot.
difficult.
There's a lot of that in battle
Yeah.
rap. There's a shit ton of that.
So whichever
So,
battle that had like the most heckling, and I don't know, that's a difficult one. Yeah, pretty much just like a ballpark idea is like if there's a bunch of heckling in it and there's like a bunch of like stopping mid round or like mics falling off or anything like that, that battle is gonna be a bitch to edit. But it always ends up fine somehow, making the magic happen. Um,
all right. So JT asked, any chance you'd accept user-submitted motion graphic intros for nonchalant shows and ruin your day? Absolutely, man. If you want to send it to us, be my guest. We'd love to see your work. It's ruinyourdaynow@gmail.com. Just send me an example, and we'll talk about it. If anything, we can give you critiques and stuff. I'm really open to that.
Yeah, we try to like pride ourselves at Ruin Your Day for trying to be as interactive with fans and subscribers as possible. That's why we try to go live. That's why we're I don't know. That's not a lot of people are doing that, and we like people to have fun with us too. We like the company, so
Yeah, the conversation is good to keep the
yeah.
conversation going between the fans and us, because we're fans too. At the end of the day, it's not like we're like fucking any superstars. So
Yeah. That's not his fault. Damn, Kyle, how are you gonna let Clayton have higher quality stream than you? Because I'm richer than him, so he can't afford the kind of cameras that I have.
totally true. That's the real reason. No, it's the setup we have right now. It's since Clayton is the host, his stream is more seamless. And
Yeah.
it's you just need to hear me. It's not too big.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm testing out this live stream from my house because hopefully I can start doing the same kind of thing with battlers, and we can do either live battle topics, or we can do AMAs, or we can do anything like that. So this is kind of like a test subject, and so far so good. So hopefully we can start making this interactive, and we can do this a little more often. Clayton, what's up with you stroking your non-existent beard? Come on, man. I take what I can get. All right, like moving on. Okay.
I loved seeing Intuition on the previous watch segment. Any chance to get Lush One on? That would be gold. Yes, I would love to get Lush One on. He used to actually live like right down the street from where my studio is, and he moved to pretty far away. Not pretty far away, but in LA terms, pretty far away. But I'll definitely have him on. Lush is the man, and he has great insight into battle rap. It would be fucking awesome to have him on. Clayton, here's a question for you. Who's the cutest battler?
Damn. Probably Loso.
I would say Loso. Loso and Fresco.
He's pretty cute, dude. I mean, that's a setup right there. I mean, y'all are trying to get us caught up. We're gonna have messages all day about that now.
Okay, so here's
this is a good one.
Why hasn't there been a full-on high-quality battle rap documentary breaking down the origins and some of the main storylines from WRC's Grind Time Smack DVD to now? Would be good to intro peeps to it. There hasn't been one that's like a conducive whole battle rap documentary, but there has fucking been plenty of battle rap documentaries out there that produced pretty decently. I did one in 2008 about the West Coast battle scene. There's been a couple other ones that have been done. There's one that was just done about Don't Flop, and it's been out in festivals out over there. It's really hard to do one on a whole, and it takes a lot of money, especially nowadays, to do a documentary like that. So I don't know. If you're interested in doing one, I would say be my guest. Like, documentary work is actually not really that difficult. It's just time consuming. That's why.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing it over battling, and battle rap events happen not every day. You know what I mean? It's not like a day in the life type thing. You have to kind of schedule it around events, and then while people are at events, you got to remember that their mind is kind of elsewhere. They're there for a job, and you don't want to like distract them from that. So there's a lot of variables that play into that, but it is a very untapped market in the grand scheme of things. But like you said, time and money is a big factor.
We in 2015 or 2014, King of the Dot flew me and Nelson up to Toronto for a week, and we worked on a King of the Dot documentary that we shot. So we have a bunch of footage of that, and that's like, if you guys have ever turned into like a bunker pay-per-view and you've seen the footage of Cadillac Ron talking in an interview, that's what that is from. So I have a shit ton of interview footage that really kind of didn't go anywhere because the project kind of lost funding and it fizzled out. But, it could happen.
Just a matter of time. As long as it keeps growing, eventually the demand will be there for it to...
Oh, yeah. I forgot. And also Psychosis is working on a documentary about, I think, the West Coast battle scene. I think not.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's that. Okay, Clayton, what was your favorite battle that took place at the bunker?
I really liked Fresco, QP, and pretty much that entire event was my favorite. I think that was the last one I did, because it went from that one to the B-Dot Cortez one, correct? Which I had to miss that one. But that whole October event was just like pretty much fire from beginning to end. The B Magic, Ness. It was just that whole, like, everyone was having so much fun there, and it wasn't like the previous events where everyone was like complaining how damn hot it was and how burgers overpriced and all this dumb shit. Like it was just fun from beginning to end. Not to mention the battles were flames.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What was yours? What was yours?
I don't know. That's a really hard question for me because I've liked so many of them. I have no idea. I guess B Magic versus Enes was kind of like, I kind of like that one just because it kind of worked exactly how I wanted it to, especially having Marcus, the damn guy, the wheelchair damn guy out there, was fucking incredible. But yeah, dude, I don't know. There was a shit ton of fucking great battles that happened at the bunker. I can't say really one is my absolute favorite. So there was a pretty good question that we skipped over that I wanted to go back to, Clayton.
What, the URL one?
No URL questions. So,
Come on.
The Gamer asks, is there any footage you guys can think of that you wanted to leave in a battle but you had to edit out? So, Clayton,
that's a good one. I don't know. It's almost like we're the gatekeepers sometimes. We kind of like decide what lives forever and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Kyle wanted the Math Diz punch in there, but they just said no. And then I don't know. I mean, there's been plenty of things that obviously should be taken out. I haven't edited anything out that I was like, man, I wish I could keep this. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, if it's edited out, there's a good reason why. There are definitely things that were left in that I think would be better to keep out, but that's above my pay grade. You know what I mean? And you also don't want to like get power hungry and like I don't know. You gotta let it speak for it because a lot of people do complain like if you shorten a choke or something like that, people get up in arms about oh you gotta let it live how or you gotta let them suffer even though they choke for like 10 minutes straight. Like there's no need for that. We get the point. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Agreed.
That's a touchy subject, but there's definitely nothing that we've edited out that I think didn't deserve to be edited out. Let's just put it that way. And 9 times
Yeah.
out of 10, if we edit something out, you wouldn't even know, unless you're in the building or like have a really good memory. You would never even know that it happened. So, um,
King of Kong is it's a good documentary. I'll say that much. Um, let's see. The event with QP Fresco got the most pay-per-view buys out of all the events that took place at the bunker. Was there anything glaringly different about that event?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot different about that event. Like, well, Disaster was on the card for one, and he's a huge numbers
Draw.
guy.
Yeah.
He pulls the most numbers out of probably any battle rapper, I would say. Top on that, on top of a card that's already really good. That I
Yeah.
would say the card was just really good. That's we just had a good card at the right time, you know. And that's not a slight to any of the other cards that were on the bunker. It's just having that good of a card and then also having Diz on top of that was, the cherry on the top.
Yeah, and especially because after that, the Battle of the Sexes thing fell through. I think like not even 2 weeks prior to that, and then Diz started hyping up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on the next farm cut without even like getting with us first, and that already drew people's eyes to the bunker. And then you guys locked that in, and yeah, I mean you have Fresco, you have B Magic Ines, you got all these like crazy names already on there. I mean, it's a recipe for success right there.
Would either of you consider battling? We already said that we're gonna team up on a 2-on-2.
But we already know that it's going to get vaulted before we
Yeah,
even do it.
so you have to be there. So come to every single battle event and stay in the same hotels as us, hoping that you'll be part of a hotel.
Get us adequately drunk, and yeah, and your chances are pretty high.
Commentary on pay-per-views. What kind of question is that? There is commentary on pay-per-views.
There is.
Are you asking if we like it? Are you asking if you don't like it? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Here's a good question. The Jeffman 2009. Who's the buffest battler?
I would say most in shape battler right now is probably Nestle.
Yeah, Nestle's getting pretty damn big.
Nestle's huge. Before that, Holohan was the biggest.
Psychosis is pretty big.
Psychosis is pretty. Psych and Alias, the act, are pretty big dudes. But I think Ness is bigger than all of them. And Ness is like one of the few guys that I could be like, yeah, he could probably lift heavier than me. I feel like I could lift heavier than a lot of those fools that are like bigger because they probably don't lift heavy. But Pat was pretty big for a while there too, and Holohan in his heyday was fucking enormous. Mm-hmm. He's in really good shape. We're gonna see more hotel battles. There weren't any from this last event, but we're gonna do more because they were really fun. We just gotta establish them as something, and that's what this video did. Now people are like, oh, they do this at events.
Yeah, that's kind of like the dynamic behind the scenes. It's kind of like a little glimpse into how we all interact. Everyone kind of, I think there's a misconception where battlers are kind of supposed to like not be friends and not have fun and like all kind of be like their own entity. But in reality, that's kind of how we are the entire time. That whole energy behind the hotel battles is how we're screwing around pretty much the entire event, and somehow we make an event happen with all those personalities coming together at one moment. So hopefully that battle is a proof of concept, and other people will want to hop on the bandwagon.
Yo, if we could get Jay Black on a hotel battle, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
But he would also fucking like murder everybody, so that would be he'd be like top tier.
That's kind of not fair. I mean,
we
maybe
just have to change.
maybe Jay Black versus me, you, and Laughingstock, a 3-on-1. We might have a little bit of a chance.
Damn, I wish I could post. Actually, I can. Okay, so Cold Gravy just asked an interesting question, which I'm actually going to post a link to. He asked me if I've ever filmed with a VX1000, and if you don't know, VX1000s are the cream of the crop for skateboard filmmakers to film with. So, fuck, I can't find the video, but anyways, there is a daily spice on Ruin Your Day of me breaking a VX1000. I've had two.
Oh, yeah. People did not like that, dude. People did not like you doing it.
Okay, the whole fucking story was I was filming a line. A line is, in skateboarding is where a skateboarder does a couple of tricks in a row, and you skateboard beside them with the camera. And I hit a rock, and I fell onto my camera, and it broke. So the camera was broken already. So I threw the broken camera against a brick wall, and people were like, thought I just broke a camera for fun. But
yeah,
shout out to the VX1000, shout out to the Deathlands. I still get nostalgic when I see those cameras. I just love how they were made. They're made like a fucking camera. Like nowadays, DSLRs, it's not made like a video camera. It's made like a photography tool,
yeah.
You know, that you take one photo with, and that's it. You're not made to sit like this. It's not comfortable. Like, you're made to sit like that. Like, that's comfortable, you know?
Mm-hmm. Here's a question. What was the first battle you ever remember seeing? I mean, I used to, like, as corny as
age telling to you. This is going to be super age telling.
Oh yeah, I am dramatically younger than Avos, so give me a freaking break. But I would say probably the very first one was the damn Eli Porter one. That battle, the infamous Eli Porter. And then I also used to watch the like 106 Freestyle Friday stuff and like Blind Fury and all that, and that just kind of ascended from there, I suppose.
My first battle that I ever saw was RZA on the Blades battles in like 1998, I want to say. Or I feel like it was even way before that, like in 95 or something. But I saw RZA because I was a fan of Wu-Tang. And I was like, oh, he battles. Like, I kind of knew what battling was, but I didn't really. And then the thing that really got me into battle rap was Mac Lethal at Scribble Jam. When I bought the VHS, I was at an Atmosphere show, hilariously enough, and I was like, oh, Scribble Jam, I've kind of heard of this. And I bought the VHS, and I just I love battling. Like, right after watching that first battle with him and Kashmir the Professional, which, when you look at that in retrospect, that battle was like kind of like super racist because he said some like really racist things. So,
yeah. This is a good question. Do you think King of the Dot, or I guess any league, do you think they'd ever get big enough to do tours? I think I actually spoke to Ganek and Cortez about this a little bit before Blackout, about how like the concept of like comedians going on tour is kind of similar to the way battlers could go on tour. You know, like if you pack out a venue and let's say you have Cortez versus battler, whatever, and you guys pack out 8 different venues across the country. If you don't stream it and you don't upload it until like you guys are completely done with the tour, and you just prevent people from filming the same way that like comedy shows do and concerts do, you guys could essentially do the same material in all 8 venues, all 8 cities, and no one would, like, it'd be the same reaction each time, you know?
yeah, it would be pretty privy to it though, because somebody would quote bars on Twitter. It's just like the
But I mean, the
sensational.
same thing happens with comedy shows. I'm sure there are lines here or there, but
But
it
you
wouldn't be.
expect that. You expect that when you go to a comedy show, a battle is supposed to be original material every single time. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a battle is almost like it's in a way it's like a sport where it's like it's a unique situation that's supposed to happen only one time, but it's a subjective art form, so it's kind of not like a sport. But at the same, you just can't work it like that. It would people would fucking pick up on it too fast, and it's the same shit, and they would just be like, oh, it's the same shit they did last week. I don't know. I could see people thinking that was corny, but who knows? Maybe it could work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta. If they start thinking like monetarily, how can we use this material to make more money off of, if I can sell 8 venues with the same material I would sell one venue for, I don't know. That's definitely, I mean, we were just kind of brainstorming, but the idea itself, like if you look at like performance art versus sports, it kind of made sense. But like you said, there's definitely obstacles in the way.
I think there's a way. I think there's definitely a way to do it. A tour. I think like if we had something like a tournament set up, and we did different parts of the matches in new cities and just kind of moved around. I think that totally could work. But I don't think you can do the same battle every single time. I think people would pick up on that and kind of hate on that.
Man, bunch of haters in here. Y'all are haters.
I don't know. I haven't really been watching the comments, but is there any other questions that you?
What else about cameras and lifting weights? just like a really broad question. Cameras are cool, and lifting weights are even cooler.
Word.
Hell yeah. So we'll take a couple more questions, and we're gonna wrap this puppy up. We might make this like a recurring thing, considering there are so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely, somebody said y'all need a bunker champion, and I definitely agreed. Like I think that's what's missing from battle rap nowadays is that there's no big tournament anymore, and I think a big tournament with the big top tier names would do very, very, very well, and I think it would be extremely exciting. So I definitely would like to make that happen. It's just about having the financial backing, like everything else in the world. I'm not gonna. I'm done going broke over battle rap. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean it all adds up. So every pay-per-view buy, every ticket, every item of merch or whatever you can contribute, all goes towards the same final goal. So just keep that in mind, especially now with like the direction YouTube is kind of taking, whatever it may be. If you guys want something, there's an easy solution for it. It's right in front of you.
Okay, I'll answer this question just because we got mad we skipped it. What's your favorite Cadillac Ron moment? There's a lot of them, but I will say one of my favorite quotables that I always think of all the time that comes into my head. It's not from a battle. It's from when Caddy was on the Dirtbag Dan show, and he was talking about this. I don't know who he was talking about, but he said, "You're a soft-shelled crab in a world full of sharks." And I always like think about that, and I'm like, damn, that's like a hard-ass fucking line. But there's a lot of good Caddy stories that like weren't on cam, so it kind of like be pointless to tell them. But miss that guy, R.I.P. An unheard of cannabis story. There's no unheard of cannabis stories. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll say this. You guys don't know this because cannabis is so polarizing of a figure, but when Cannabis battled Diz, he did have, like, I think maybe a broken, like, collarbone or like a sprained shoulder or something. He was hurt. Like, he was pretty fucking injured, and he had stitches in his head or something like that. So he battled, like, pretty fucking injured because at a show, like, a week before, some promoter tackled him and, like, fucked him up super bad. So
damn.
That's an unheard cannabis story. Okay, here's a good question, Clayton. Realistically, how do you think YouTube cutting ads down on a lot of channels would kill battle revenue? I personally think it's going to affect battle rap, but I don't think it's going to kill battle rap.
No.
Like, at all. Like there will always be new mediums and new ways to make revenue. To be honest, King of the Dot doesn't really rely totally on YouTube to make revenue. And I think relying on only one platform and only having one source of income in any business is very unwise. Like if you only are, if you're, especially if you're depending on another platform to make your income, if you're depending on YouTube to keep doing it instead of just having it solely be you, I think that's not really a good decision. So I think that it will kind of put a dent in battle rap for now, but I don't think it's going to kill battle rap by any means.
Yeah, I mean, battling was around before monetization on YouTube, so I mean, it may kill some people's, not kill, but it may cut back a couple people's rates or price tags. But in the grand scheme of battling, there are people that don't need as much as, you know, I don't know. It's definitely just a couple of dollars here and there do add up, but it's not going to sink the ship. You know, there's other revenue streams, and Kyle, you can attest to that. I mean,
which is a good point brought up in another question. Which is more significant in terms of revenue, YouTube monetization or pay-per-view and merch sales? Pay-per-view and merch sales, bar fucking none. If you don't have a product, YouTube monetization is not a product. It is, you're getting paid for advertising on another platform. You don't have a product at that point. You're a channel, you're a content creator for another platform. You're not creating an actual product. You're creating a brand, but you don't have a product to stand behind. So if you have something like merch, you have something like t-shirts to sell, that's a product you're making. So by far, if you have a product, that's going to be more profitable than supplying content to another platform, I would say.
Yay.
I don't hate URL contracts with a passion. I think URL should do contracts. I think they're smart for it.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have that market locked down, that area. Don't know too much about it, but I think it's an interesting venture that they take that not many other leagues do. So.
Yeah. Okay, I will say, do you guys have any advice for URL on how to get the pay-per-views in under? I don't know, man. I watched the first 2 pay-per-views they had, and their pay-per-views are fine. Like everybody has pitfalls. There are always going to be technology issues and everything.
We can attest to that shit.
There's been, our stream dropped the last time. And the reason why our stream dropped is something that's never happened in the 4 years that I've been working on it. So complications arise. But I don't think everybody should be hating on URL doing streams. I think if anything, people should be staying with them, because you should support I think you should support battle rap as a whole. But if you like a certain type of battle rap, just keep supporting it. And give them the benefit of the doubt. URL is not trying to fuck over the fans. They're not like trying to steal your money and just be like, we got your $30. We're going to spend this $1,000 on some dumb shit. They're trying to make better battles happen with that money. They're trying to like give you guys entertainment. So it's not like your support is being into the pockets of some like evil corporation. It's into the pockets of people that love this culture. And especially Smack is somebody that's like been with this culture since day one. He fucking made this culture. So I mean, I would say if they do another pay-per-view, support it. The reason why their pay-per-view was it hit some pitfalls the last time, I would also say it's not their fault. It's like they're at the kind of will of another company, because they didn't. I'll just say this: King of the Dot, I learned how to do pay-per-views myself. Like we know how to do pay-per-views ourselves. We're like essentially a production company at this point. URL has to hire another company to do their pay-per-views. So with that being said, they're at the mercy of that other company. If that other company fucks up, I don't think it's URL's fault, because they're paying for that service to be worked perfectly. And if it doesn't work perfectly, you guys can't really fire on URL being like, fuck you guys are fucking stealing my money. It's like, dude, they tried everything. They had the money and they invested it in a service that they were guaranteed to not have failed. So
yeah, one thing that I noticed, and I'm sure you noticed, Kyle, was we saw like their event was a week before ours, and we were obviously trying to avoid having the same situation happen to our event. But regardless if something happens that is not expected, we personally try to remain as transparent as possible and keep you guys up to date. I think that's one thing that is lacking in a lot of certain leagues, and if that gets implemented, it'll help everybody involved, because fans, even if it's a call that they aren't excited for, whether the stream's going to be down for X amount of minutes or whatever, as long as we keep involved in letting you guys know why we're doing something and keeping you guys up to date on, we're not starting battles until we get the stream up, give us 10 minutes, whatever. That's one thing that we try to stick to. The same way that we try to stick to that with Ruin Your Day, keeping as involved as possible, because you guys are the thing that keeps this going at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
So we'll answer one or two, and then we got to go lift a bunch of weights and talk to women. Oh, can you deadlift, Clayton? I'm sure I can, but I don't. Do you deadlift, Kyle? I mean,
yeah, I deadlift. I could definitely deadlift Clayton. Clayton weighs like 175 pounds.
Oh, is that the question? Can you deadlift me?
You can't deadlift 175 pounds. That's not a lot. That's like actually like very light. Yeah, I could totally deadlift Clayton. Clayton could deadlift me too, I would hope. You could deadlift 2 plates, right?
I can't remember the last time I deadlifted, to be honest. There's a couple workouts that I just don't do because I feel like my form is all fucked up. Like deadlifts and cleans and all shit like that. I don't mess with. I think they're like kind of ego stuff. Plus, deadlifts get your core like super thick. I don't want my core to be thick.
That's fucking myth, dude. They don't make your core thick.
It says the person who has a thick ass core. Whatever, man.
Yeah, but I don't do deadlifts that often. Like I have a thick core because I have fat over there, but they don't make your core thick. You're thinking of like people that do steroids to do bodybuilding, and it bloats their organs. That's why
that's different though. I mean, yeah. I guess I got a deadlift today, guys. Thanks. When are the Blackout battles going to be released? We just released a release schedule last night. If you go to King of the Dot, all their social medias have that posted. May 1st is the title match, the first drop. So yeah, that was a simple question. But other than that, I guess, Kyle, you want to give any kind of closing remarks?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're Clayton's using this as sort of a test subject because he wants to start doing battle topics like this. If you guys enjoyed this, there's a possibility that this might be the new format for battle topics.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't heard of Battle Topics, because I know we have a lot of new fans within like the past month, Battle Topics is a podcast that we've been doing for Ruin Your Day for the I don't know, probably going on like 4 months now. We've had everybody from Pat Stay, Head Ice, Roan, Carter Deems, Reverse. Like you can go onto our channel right after this. We have a whole playlist full of them. I think we have like almost 30 episodes. We're even on iTunes and Google Play. But yeah, we're trying to keep it as interactive, and live seems to be kind of the wave right now. And it's definitely easier time-wise for everyone involved. So I'm going to see what we can get popping. But if you guys enjoy this, just let us know. And if there are any more unanswered questions, we can potentially do another one of these soon enough. I'm sure there's never-ending questions, but yeah, hopefully we can start keeping this format going. But anywho, we appreciate you guys being on and contributing. And we hope to see you guys roast us in comments again soon. All right. See ya.
Peace.